Raoul Pal is one of crypto's perma bulls, well known for being irresponsibly long the crypto market. And no surprise that he thinks that crypto is going to be 10 times the size it is today over the coming years. Now, anyone following the crypto market closely knows that prices have been stagnating over the past few months. In fact, we're sitting at price levels set 7 months ago, all the way back in March. And so the question is, why are things just going sideways, and how long is this going to last? Well, today we'll be covering the latest insights from Raoul Pal, including what is going on right now and why are prices stagnating. Then we'll look at an amazing thing going on with a huge convergence of 4-year cycles, forming a mega cycle, and they're all going to be hitting soon. And then we'll finish up with Raoul's biggest price prediction for the year so far and the number one driving force behind it. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, so first up, anyone following the crypto market right now is probably starting to get a bit bored. Prices go up a little, then back down, then back up, then back down. So what is going on?
Everything's quiet right now. We've got very little liquidity coming into the crypto market or the traditional markets. We've got the central bank still tightening, so there's just less money around. So even you've seen that the positive narratives, and there's been a lot of positive news in crypto, hasn't really driven price. Because the other thing is, we're not bringing many new people in yet. And there's a lot of supply on the market from, Mt. Gox, government stuff, FTX, and that just weighs on the market when there's no new people coming in. We're seeing it in traditional markets as well. There's just not a lot going on. It's kind of very summer feeling about it, drifting around, not that many people participating. You can see it on Twitter, you can see it in other places. Just engagement in the space is pretty low, but people have forgotten the space is up 50 to 100% this year. It's very quick to forget in crypto, unless it's up 300%, we don't care. So you have to take it, crypto is still the best performing asset class in the world this year, but we kind of feel miserable about it because it's gone sideways or down since April, let's say. So overall, my view is that the central bank is likely to start to see inflation falling and unemployment rising and economic growth slowing or staying slow. And so that means for the back end of the year, the more likely outcome is they stop raising rates. Okay, that's plus point number one. B, if the bond yields keep rising as they've been doing, they'll probably stop quantitative tightening at some point. That'll be a plus number two. And then if inflation starts falling below 2%, which I think it will do towards the end of the year, they'll cut rates as well. So that's plus point number three. So that shifts the kind of liquidity cycle as it brings us into 2024.
And he does make a good point. Although crypto does seem a little boring right now, especially with all the news and the headlines and the narratives coming in every single day, crypto has already been one of the best performers this year. In fact, let's just escape the narratives for just 1 minute and take a look at the hard numbers. How is everything performing so far this year, and where has been the best place to invest? And so, always good to check in and see how the hard numbers are looking. So we'll be looking at the core places. So we've got stocks, which is S&P 500. We've got a bond, ETF, BND. We've got the Goldman Sachs Commodities Index. We've got gold, we've got Bitcoin and crypto. So let's take a look. S&P 500 first up, and actually it's having a very, very good year. Historically, going back for the last 50 years, this averages around 10%, and right now it's close to 15%. So stocks have been a great place to be so far this year, despite the macro headwinds. Now, when it comes to bonds, and this is actually negative. So all the 60-40 portfolios have really been struggling and may now be dead. as bonds have crashed for a couple of years. However, if you're parking your money in short-term bonds right now, then a 5% yield on your cash is pretty good. Just ask Warren Buffett. Next, when it comes to commodities, and this is also up about 5% on the year, so not too bad. Now, the traditional safe haven, which has been gold, how has it done so far this year? And similar to commodities, it's up around 5%. So far, stocks have been the place to be. However, moving on to crypto, and for Bitcoin, boring old Bitcoin is up only a bit over 60%. So just 3 times better than the next major asset class. However, a lot of the altcoins have been struggling, so the crypto market is only up just over 30%. So with the altcoins, it's been a bit hit and miss. Some clearly have done very well. Some have been bleeding away, and a lot of the crypto market altcoin money has been going into Bitcoin as a flight to safety. And so this really puts things into perspective about what is actually going on. And even though historically stocks are doing really well and up higher than average, it's still Bitcoin and crypto that's been the best place to be. So now you see, it doesn't look so boring as it first may seem. Next up, there is something very exciting brewing in the background behind all of this. It's a huge convergence of megacycles all coming together at the same time, ready to hit in 2024.
So I think the Bitcoin halving is actually to do with the macro cycle. It's the debt refi cycle that happened in 2008. In 2008, we had a great reset of debt. What happened is every central bank, major central bank around the world said, right, nobody needs to pay interest. Interest rates are 0. Okay, that was fascinating. Then they kind of agreed that nobody was going to pay off debts. So they just keep rolling them. And what they did is back in 2008, they all issued debt between 3 and 5 years. That kind of 4-year midpoint is the halving cycle, because Bitcoin launched at the same time. So they're coincidental. Now, maybe it's one of the reasons Bitcoin, can outperform because of it, but really the cycle is a macro cycle, which is really important for people to understand. But you can still use the Bitcoin halving cycle because it's the same timing. So it makes no difference. You don't have to over-intellectualize it. It's just like, generally 2024 should be an up year unless something dramatically has changed.
And so Raoul brings a very interesting idea to the table, and that is maybe that Bitcoin's 4-year halving isn't what's sending prices to the moon, but it's a macro debt cycle which just so happened to have started when Bitcoin first launched. And so it's liquidity that is actually driving everything. Well, I actually personally think it's both. I think it's clear now that liquidity, aka money printing, does have a massive impact. However, I also think reducing the supply of an asset that's in high demand also has a big impact on prices. And then if that wasn't enough, throw into the mix another 4-year cycle, and that is the US presidential cycle, where sitting presidents do not want financial assets crashing on their watch, and they will want everything booming and doing well. And so these 3 megacycles are all coming to a computer near you in 2024. And so to all crypto investors who have patiently waited and gone through this last brutal crypto winter, the end is now in sight, and it's not too long until things are going to get exciting again. Okay, and to finish up, here is Raoul's latest thoughts on where he thinks the crypto market will be going in the next cycle and the number one driving force behind it.
I don't know. I'm so scarred from trying to give outlooks, and then, it becomes this obsession that people want to beat you with. So look, I'm very positive. Obviously, I think we go well through new all-time highs. I think the whole ecosystem of crypto, we go from 425 million users where we are today. I think the end of this cycle will be 1 billion users by the kind of use cases we've talked about. Don't forget, we've got CBDC, stable coins. There's a lot going on still. So, if the entire space is going to grow 2.5x in number of users, well, market cap of the entire space is 5 or 10x. So, you can figure it out from where that is. So, yeah, look, I'm just very positive. And then let's see how people value layer twos in this. We don't really know how value twos accrue as much value. Do we have to have a massive amount of transactions? In which case, then you need stuff like Ticketmaster with millions and millions and millions of transactions to drive value to those chains, because they batch them and then batch them down to ETH. So look, it's super fascinating. But yeah, I don't see anything different this cycle than we've seen in other cycles for any particular reason.
Raoul Pal is one of crypto's perma bulls, well known for being irresponsibly long the crypto market. In the next cycle, he sees the number of users going from around 400 million today to over 1 billion, and this being the main driver to 10x the crypto market. And a 10x from where Bitcoin is right now would give a huge price target of $270,000 per Bitcoin. And remember, much more for some of the top altcoins. As you saw, there is a very exciting convergence of megacycles all coming together, ready to hit in 2024. And so next year pretty much guarantees fireworks will be coming. And finally, remember, even though things may seem a little boring right now, Bitcoin and crypto have been one of the best places to be so far this year. And even a 30% gain is not too shabby. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now tell me, what do you think about these latest insights from Raoul Pal? Let me know below. And just remember to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments. We are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.